Hey guys, happy Friday! So this is Married to Medicine, Season 4, Episode 9, Hawaii 5 Solo. Now, the episode, well, before I get into that, as you guys know, the shooting in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale Airport, so my condolences to the families that were harmed, and screw the gunman. Also, a shout out to the boy who was tortured by by the trash, those four trash people, and a shout out to the girl who was trying to, defend her sister, break up the fight that got slammed by the security guy in school. This first week has been crazy. But anyway, on to some mess. Now, for Married to Medicine, it starts off with, of course, this is the trip to Hawaii. This is the trip to Hawaii. Everyone is getting prepped, ready to go. And why did Lisa Nicole ask her daughter, yeah, so what do you think of mommy wearing this? And her daughter said, the stomach situation, it's not flat. There's a little hill. I'm like, how old is she? Did she really just say that? She's these smart kids. Shout out to the parents, though, because all these kids, I haven't encountered, well, recently at least, one kid that wasn't a smart aleck or something on one of these shows. But anywho, Dr. Simone's with her family, and she's just making sure her boys are going to be good while she's gone. Why? Because she's going to be gone for about a week or so, and she needs to make sure that her family's still in order even if she's not there to go and micromanage and make sure that everything's in order herself, because her husband's going to be gone too. And it's cute because they're celebrating 20 years, so shout out to them for that. Now we have Dr. Jackie on the other end, who we don't see her husband at all. She's just talking about how at work she's busy and she's excited for this trip because, her and her husband definitely need something a little bit different. Because right now, the focus has been on her work. Everyone's at the airport and they're getting ready to go. Toya was like, oh, at least Nicole's not here. Good, maybe she's not going to show up, period. We're thinking, of course she's going to show up. She's just going to show up a little bit later. Mariah still has a boot, so she has her little scooter that she's going on as well. Everyone's on the plane. Everyone's ready to go. And Dr. Heavenly has decided that she's officially not drinking right now. I'm thinking, Dr. Heavenly without alcohol. This should be interesting. This should be interesting because, she's the queen of sipping a little bit of this, sipping a little bit of that in her cup, her signature cups. But since that won't be the case, it's like, what heavenly we're going to get in this trip? Well, her husband's going to be there too. She's not going to be turned up. She's going to be turned down. But how turned down is she? We'll find out. At least for this episode, she was mild. She was mild. We'll say she was mild. They land, and now it's time for the shenanigans to begin. It starts off with them getting there. It's all well and good. Dr. Jackie, again, is going to come a little bit later. And this is where we find out Lisa Nicole's husband isn't there. He's going to come 2 days later. Cool. We understand that's copacetic. Everyone gets to their room because now they only have like 15 minutes or so to get back down so that they can have just, a little nightcap and then go back up because they have a lot to do the next day. Toya and her husband are just like, oh my gosh, this is so nice. This is so much better than the Bahamas trip. Shout out to them for that. I'm thinking, then she was like, oh, well, this is cute. This is nice. This is cute. It's not the Waldorf. It's not this. It's not that. But this is cute. Even Qualis was like, oh, it's not the so-and-so, but this is nice. This is nice. Simone did good. Simone did good. I'm looking at them like, now I understand you because you're paying for it, but still, the general activities were paid for, so why... it just always comes off a little bit ungrateful. You don't have to say everything that you're thinking, and I think that's the issue that this group has. They say everything that they're thinking. There's certain things that we're all taught you don't say, you don't speak in regards to every little thing. Mariah, yeah, and remind you, they're supposed to have 15 minutes. Mariah, she goes, she takes off the boot. I understand that because, of course, it must have been gross under there. She's getting a little bit comfortable. Now, the ladies are making their way down there. Mariah's still obsessed with her husband. It's like, I heard in Hawaii the food isn't that good. So, actually, I heard that too, that the food, not everything, of course, but the food is kind of bland. So, But what have you. So Mariah's trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to eat? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? This and that. I get it. She probably thought that maybe instead they were going to have at least the night to themselves and then start fresh the next day. But still, everyone gets down there. They're good, ready to go. The ladies are having fun. Mariah and at least Nicole are still upstairs trying to figure out, okay, where's Mariah? It's actually getting pretty late now. At least Nicole, she calls her husband, and he's Darren. He's an ER, a doctor, which means that unless he can get someone to take his shift, he can't go anywhere. He can't go anywhere. So then we get it. We understand that. That's no problem. And again, she already told the ladies he'd be there 2 days later. Now, the ladies, they're cracking jokes, they're having a good time. They find out they're going to be on the boat. Dr. Heavenly doesn't swim. I don't know how to swim either, so I guess we'd be in the same boat. It's like, no, I'll be there, I'll be there. You know, I just won't be in the water, but I'll be there. And along with that, Mariah finally comes down. Mariah and Lisa Nicole, because Mariah actually gets Lisa Nicole. They come down, and you know, Dr. Simone's like, I'm tired. I actually want to go to bed. Oh, this is cute that you're here, but I want to leave. Now, of course, there's no reason for the rest of the ladies to leave either. Quad, there's absolutely no reason. Dr. Heavenly still isn't necessarily feeling Lisa Nicole like that. And she can take it or leave it with Mariah. And Toya is definitely like, no, I think we need to go upstairs. Mariah makes a little fuss. It's like, wait a minute, so all of you are going to go downstairs? I get it that maybe not Simone, but can you just stay for one drink? I'm looking at her like, wait a minute. Whose fault is it that you took your sweet time coming back down here? We get the leg thing, but that wasn't the only thing. You wanted to, you know, have a moment to yourself. So the least that you could have done is just quickly apologize and say, I'm sorry for the tardiness, instead of being like, oh, they're just being petty and because I'm cute and all of that. Yeah, they're not being petty. They were there on time. They were tired. They were jet lagged just like you were jet lagged. They didn't change. They came as they were. And you want to come down acting like, oh, everything's fine, everything's perfect. Everything's not. Look at Lisa Nicole. Lisa Nicole said nothing because she knew that they were late, so she wasn't going to go and make a big fuss over it. But here goes Toya trying to fight everyone's battle. This is the one thing, though. It would have been cool, because Dr. Heavenly jetted out of there. But Toya said, you know what, Mariah? Interesting how you have this demeanor when it's not that she was wrong. It's just, I'm like, Toya, you didn't have to really say anything. But we always kind of like the fact that you did, so I guess continue. Oh, Mariah, it's definitely wrong that you went and said, you know, came off a certain way when you were the one that was late. True. Absolutely true. But what happens next is some foolishness. Oh, they start to squabble back and forth. It's like, wait a minute, how are you talking? How are you? That was getting very annoying, so Janine stepped in and said, hold up. So I'm going to change gears because this is getting very awkward. Tomorrow we're going to be on the boat. We're also going to be in the water. Can you do the whole water thing? Yeah, I can take it off, you know, if I need to. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. So, Toya, I did appreciate when she said, you know what? So, that boot, I guess if it's sweaty tomorrow, you can go and dip it in the water. That was petty, but I liked it. And that's when, like, okay, we had the drink, I'm going, I'm leaving, this is what it is. Mariah's irritated. I'm like, you were late, so this is your problem. And Toya went and stole Mariah's scooter. I'm thinking, okay, now Toya, that was funny. You came in those boots, and we were looking. Interestingly enough, all the ladies except for Toya and Lisa Nicole were wearing black and white. I guess that was the memo. But Toya took Mariah's scooter. I'm like, that's a little petty. That's a little petty. That's a little petty. That's petty, but I appreciate it. When Toya was talking to her son the next morning, and she was like, oh, do you miss us? And he said, not yet. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he's 6 years old. That is what a child would say. Not yet. I feel like I would have said something silly. Now, by 6, I've probably been like, oh yeah, of course I do. I'm thinking, no, not yet. Like, I just saw you last night. Like, come on now. Anyway, everyone's in the van. Everyone's wearing very colorful colors because they're in Hawaii, so they have the flowers, the florals, and the lighter colors because they're going to be in the sun. And on the bus ride, Dr. Simone decides she wants to have a dialogue. As she always does. She always wants some extra dialogue. So here's how this goes. Now, Toya, why did Toya have, it wasn't tequila, was it vodka? It was either vodka or tequila. Either way, Toya, it's like, why you always, now, Dr. Simone says, wait a minute, why would you, Mariah, would you trust Toya in getting you in the water and keeping you safe and from drowning in anything? She said, it depends. And Toya was like, oh, I'm thinking, wait a minute, Toya, you know Mariah, you know you two have issues, so why are you acting like, oh, I understand why she wouldn't trust me. I understand why she wouldn't trust me. I thought Mariah's answer was real. Why not? Because the thing is, you two are in a good place. You definitely have a petty streak in you just like she does. So anything could happen in that water. And Mariah was talking about how, I would trust the rich Toya, because the rich Toya, she's nice when, the husbands are around, or it's just us. She's cool. When she's around everyone else and she's broke, that's a different type of person. I said, I'm like, Mariah, you need to stop it. You need to stop it. Now, again, where they're not ungrateful, but they're complaining about something that they don't need to complain about. Yes, we all looked at, like, wait, so that's the boat we're getting on? But again, I'm not paying for it, so I'm cool. I'm just like, okay, cool. So we're going to have a good time. We're going to have the wind in our hair. Dr. Heavenly said, you know what? Regardless of what I say about Toya behind her back, I knew if it was Toya, it would be a yacht. We would be living large. So I got to give it up to her. Thinking you're not paying for it, so don't worry about it. Anywho. On the boat, it's brought up the fact that Toya and Eugene, they're downsizing. And they're getting something more affordable. And it was just like, okay, cool, there's no problem. That's what you should be doing. You have financial issues, nothing wrong with that. Because Toya was trying to justify, it's like, well, we're only doing this. This is only temporary. I'm thinking, are you trying to convince us or yourself? Because none of them actually care. And we don't care either. Either way, you're going to live in a beautiful house. So what's the problem? The narrative switches because Toya says, I found the house all by myself because my so-called friend Janine went and didn't do such a good job. And Janine said, hold up. First off, you're very demanding. Second off, you're very hard to please. Third off, I did the best that I could with all the demands that you were given. So essentially, what you were asking for, what you wanted, it wasn't realistic. And Janine said, I'm hurt by that because I really did try and put my best foot forward. And for my friend to go and basically play me on TV like that, that's not what she said, but I'm sure that's what she was thinking. For you to go and play me like that, I didn't appreciate that. And then Toya said, you know what? If I offended you because that was the best that you were able to do and that was really the best effort you gave, then I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Again, Janine, that's not an apology. But Janine said, you know what? Well, if you're apologizing, then I think I can apologize for I don't know what, but this is you we're talking about, so I know I have to say that just so that you can be okay with technically trying to apologize to me. Like, and we're real friends, so it's okay. I'm like, oh, okay. No, some BS both ways, but I guess it is what it is. Now, there were some dolphins, but the majority of them get in the water. Some of them do not. Dr. Simone and, what is this, Cecil? And her husband, they stay on the boat. Her husband can't swim, and she was like, I just did my hair. So no, that's not going to happen. Everyone's getting ready because it's time for dinner time. And Dr. Simone, her husband, they go and they have this dance. Because he's just like, you know what, I just want you to myself for a moment. So they go and dancing and, thinking about 20 years. It's going to be 20 years in a couple of days. This is amazing. And it's like, there was some good. There was some not so good. And Dr. Simone just said, I appreciate the fact that I could lean on you and you have my back for some really tough times. And I just appreciate you. Now everyone's coming to the dinner. Everyone's getting there. Now you know who isn't there? Quad. So they decide to start dinner anyway. And the thing with that is, Mariah's just like, oh, so Quad isn't here. Quad isn't here. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, before Quad gets there, a dialogue has to go interrupt because they have to go and do a toast. They have to go and do a toast, but this time they want Mariah to do it because the last time it was done, it was Toya's husband, and remember, he brought up the whole family thing where Mariah's like, we not family. This is a family. And she said, you know, it's a life, love, happiness, and family in-laws. I thought that was the realest thing I heard this whole episode because I think that's more accurate. You guys aren't family, but definitely in-laws. Like, if you're gone the next day because of one thing, it is what it is. If you're not, it is what it is. It jumps from that to, you know, Toya and her husband decide, let's go and talk about trust and honesty stuff. And it's just like, well, you know what? Because Dr. Simone brought it up. She wants some meaningful dialogue and conversation. That didn't go too well because Toya was saying how, you know, men and women are different, so husbands and wives are different. Because of that, you know, what I may deem as not being bad to keep as a secret, he might, and it is what it is. And he said, well, wait a minute. So if I were to go and keep a secret on you, let's say I go to a strip club. I'm thinking, oh God, Lisa Nicole, here we go. If I'm going to a strip club, and if I'm going to a strip club doing what I want at the strip club, and I didn't tell you, or I didn't tell you at that moment, or whatever, and then it flipped over to, because Lisa Nicole was in the corner irritated because even Toya was like, yeah, well, if you did what Darren did, then I would definitely be pissed because, you know, that's a different case. I'm like, can't y'all just leave her alone at this point? I hate the fact that I even have to say that, but can't you just leave her alone at this point? And, you know, while the conversation is still going, because Toya wanted to bring up a thing with Mariah, and Eugene had a different point, and he was kind of talking over her a little bit. So then Toya said, oh, can't you just shut up or something like that? Something to that effect. And then he said, wait a minute, don't tell me to shut up. She said, I didn't tell you to shut up. It was like, you just did. He was like, no, don't put words in my mouth. Why don't you just put that biscuit in your mouth? Everyone looked at her and then looked at him like, wait, did she just say that in front of us? Really? Did that and then, of course, when it came back, everyone was just like, you know, they disrespect each other all the time. And it's just, and that's what I do have to say, because it is definitely, they both kind of talk bad about each other. It's just that Toya may be a little bit more direct, and her husband more indirect, but they equally do that to each other. They do, and I think that's why it actually works. It's not messed up. That's why it works, because they have an understanding. It's not just one person picking at the other. At first I was thinking Toya just picks at her husband, but no, he says stuff too, but it may not be direct like how Toya does it. Maybe more so indirect. Quad finally comes, and right before Quad came, the subject was switched, and it was like, wait a minute, this is about if this was a friend who did something and you had to hold the secret. It's like, oh, why'd you just clarify that? Of course, that was their way of changing the subject because it got a little too heated, a little bit too much. Quad got there, and Quad, the first thing she did was apologize. Quad was just like, Mariah, I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm so sorry I was late, but I'm sorry. There really was no excuse. And I appreciate the fact that Quad apologized. That was real apology. It's like, I'm sorry I'm late. There's no excuse. I'm sorry I'm late. And Dr. Emily said, see, Mariah, that's what happens. You go, you apologize right away, no problems. Hakuna Matata. I know it's supposed to say Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata is what I say. Now it goes from that to, you know, everyone praising Dr. Simone and her husband, but now the narrative switches because the focus is on the mothers and the wives, and their husbands say what they appreciate about their wives. So, you know, it ranges from how Dr. Hemley's husband said he appreciates her for supporting him, and he was actually financially stable as an entry, what was it, like an entry level entry-level doctor, or while he was in school, or something of that nature. Either way, she had his back the whole time, and he's like, that helped him so much, being able to make moves and all that. Of course, Quad's husband says that he appreciates her for having such a big heart. Mariah's husband says that she doesn't know this, but she reminds him of his mom as far as, having a big heart and just doing so much for the family, making sure everyone else is good. And Dr. Simone's husband Cecil says the same thing. It's like, you do so much and you sacrifice so much, and the fact that people actually judge you because you work so much, and they think, oh, well, you're a wife, so what about your kids? Like, you're providing for your family. I'm doing stuff too, but you're really making moves, and that's to be commended and respected, and I appreciate that a lot. And Quad, just real quick, told her husband, I appreciate you because you allowed my family to come in, and I know a lot of people wouldn't necessarily put up with that, so I appreciate it without question. There was no issue, nothing, you've never complained, nothing, and I really appreciate you for that. But she was trying to get that tear out, and Mariah was like, oh, look at Quad, and the almost actress goes to... I'm like, okay, Mariah, we get it. I believe what she's saying, but this is Quad with the whole delivery thing. There's always a little bit extra to something. Dr. Jackie shows up alone. Her husband, we don't know. We don't know as of now, because she's just like, oh, hey. Because they're like, oh, where's your other half? Oh, yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Ooh. Okay, everyone looks down like, that's awkward. Actual marital issues. Okay, not for the show. Oh, okay, yes, this is... Now, of course, Dr. Simone, she goes and talks to Dr. Jackie the next day, and this is where she finds out that Dr. Jackie's having issues with her husband, and, he's over the fact that he's just like, you're doing too much. You have a lot on your plate. You need to slow down. And Dr. Jackie's like, I don't understand why people tell other people something like that. How am I doing too much when I'm trying to provide and trying to make a way? And Dr. Simone hit the nail on the head. I agree with her. She said, Dr. Jackie has always wanted to be a mother. She beat cancer twice. And so because she can't have a child, she has her husband, she has the house, she has her business, and so the business is her baby. That part she didn't say, I'm adding that in. The business is her baby, so that's where she's putting really more of her attention on than her marriage. And her marriage isn't going to last if she doesn't switch that up. And Dr. Jackie doesn't get that. She understands that, and I'm sure if she saw someone else going through that, she would get it, but because she's the one that's in it, it's too much. It's too much for her to accept right now. So please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. This show always brings it every week.